orchestrating to specific container is nice. Container orchestration.
Okay.
So you have a key. It is specific to VMs.
Right.
So do I assume that this orchestration can cover both VM and container?
I would say yes to that. Because if you look at maybe not the use case that we're demonstrating today, but I also have a use case that I can just show you the flow with. We are trying to pull Docker images of VM, start the container, start the database container, link, start the application container, link the two containers. That is one part of our workflow where you can get the application up and running, which are residing in containers. But there is other aspect of the same flow that can actually spin off your VM, allocate, get the VM up and running, and then do the Docker stuff on top of it. So the orchestration, this use case basically covers the VM aspect, like the OpenStack stuff that we're talking about, and the Docker. So it does both of them.
So you describe some language,
Right.
So the OpenStack line, whatever language is there just describing or at a time is it parsing it and executing?
Okay, so so the question in the room, I think, for Umar. So basically, what you're saying is the flows that I showed, we are writing the flows, and how do you run these flows?
So you
right?
describe the flow using S9.
Yes.
So there must be some S9 execution engine
Right.
or interpreter engine, or I don't know what it is.
Yes.
Can you describe something more?
Okay. So we have a plugin, ID plugin with Atom, and this text editor, Sublime text editor. So basically, we can write the flows here. And these editors understand how our flow should look like. It autofills the structure of the flow. It gives you the skeleton, and then you can go ahead and write the content. So there are plugins for Atom and Sublime Text today. Now, once you write this flow, you save it in the form of your SL file, and then you execute these files. And how you do that is through our command line interface. We call these files in, let me show you. This is the CloudSlang command line interface. So as you can see, we are ready to execute the CSlang flows. How our commands look like is actually run, and there are a whole bunch of parameters you can pass. You can pass the inputs that are required, and I showed you the file, the input section. So the inputs can be given. These inputs can be given in a file or in the command line itself, comma separated, and then run. Yes. Yes. Any other questions? Okay. So
Is there a state machine for your task?
yes. So we do have the debug statement also being shown. You can put in your debug statement. Even in our out-of-the-box flows that we provide, we have that capability. So whatever you are using can be the task will flow at a very operation level also to keywords right now. You have execution logs, log4j, where you can track of batches. Anything? Okay.
So the underlying code is all Java.
Pardon?
The underlying code is Java.
In here?
Yeah, you mentioned log4j. That's why I asked.
Right. So behind the screen, our engine is Java.
Right.
Right. So I'll go back to presentation. Next, we should start in the report. Okay, so maybe I should also spend some time on our content a little bit more. As you can see, we have chef content created out of the box. Before I get started, I want to tell you that we have a bunch of developers who are checking in code every day with different use of content for different use cases. So what you see now may be small, relevant to your use case using Chef and OpenStack and or Docker. The out-of-the-box content that you see might be a subset of what you're expecting, but if you can join our community and also on our webpage, we have a link to write the use case that you're looking for to discuss. And then we take it up on the forum, there'll be some discussions around it, and then maybe the content that you are actually looking for will be published. Because there's active participation to generate this content from inside and outside of our team. So what I'll be showing will be increasing very soon. So Chef has this content of bootstrapping the node. Maybe I can use island of the form. Okay. So for the cloud use case, we have support for Amazon, AWS, DigitalOcean, Google. Let me open. Even for Heroku, we have a lot of content around the account, to get the account, update account email, and then for applications, create an application, delete an application, get application details. So it could sound like a simple use case where you just create the application or get application details. But the power behind it is actually to use the inputs or outputs that you get from this Slack flow to another flow. So it's just overall it makes a very interesting tool and easy to use tool that you can port it from one machine to the other. You can share this. We are on Git, so you can have version control and things like that. So they might appear like single content, but this is what the power lies actually tying these pieces together. And tying these pieces together is quite easy to make calls from one flow to the other. And okay, this is the Heroku part. We have content for HP Cloud, OpenShift, OpenStack. For OpenStack, we have content for block storage to get the volumes, create volumes, and delete the volume. And for different flavors, you can get the flavor details, list the flavor details, and process the input files. So input files is basically a folder where I've created for demo, where I'll be giving the inputs that are accepted for running our flow. So, Cloud and CoreOS, Docker. We have a lot of activity around Docker. So please take a look at the out-of-box content. Sometimes you don't even have to write a single piece of code here. What you can just download up CLI and pass the necessary inputs to that. That's a powerful feature. So any questions around content? Are you looking for any specific content for your orchestration? I would love to take your feedback, maybe after the meetup.
What happens if you the orchestration, actually, if you look at OpenStack, all those Ansible basically is orchestration.
Right.
Tools.
Right.
So if you are adding a tool to cover all those tools, let's say there are disciplines available in user for different things.
Right.
Now, the goal of this, is it application orchestration or container orchestration or all of the above? VM
That's a great
orchestration,
question. Yes.
platform orchestration. What is the specialty of this orchestration tool?
Sure. So yes, as you said, they are orchestration technologies from Chef, Puppet, and the rest. But these are much more of configuration management, provision is what we need. They are day one operations. They're focused on day one operations. But what happens after you provision your application, after you create your deploy your application? So that's where CloudSlang comes into play, where you can do health checks of your application. You can remediate your application. You can, do self-healing. You can configure your system for self-healing. So these are some of the focus areas, use cases for CloudSlang. We are working on creating content for it. For example, one of the use cases that I'll be demoing today is to get a health check on your VM. So basically, when your IT admin or someone gives you a bunch of parameters to create your VM, you can actually pass those parameters into our flow, and then you can it actually creates a VM, calls the API on OpenStack, and this creates your VM. And then it checks if the VM is existing, then it deletes the VM. So the day two operations of maintaining your applications is what we're highly focused on. That is the one use case. So yes, does that answer the question?
Operation management is one of the use cases that is fixed.
Yes. And we have proven technology behind how scalable this is. So HPE Operations Orchestration actually has CloudSlang running in the background. That is the core execution engine for cloud. So yeah, it's pretty scalable. And
Yeah, but before you have a question in the back.
okay.
So you said remediation and self-healing,
Right.
those are very hard problems to automate, right? Can you give some detailed example of how you remediate and how you actually implement it?
Sure. So so let me bring up a use case where you're using Docker and you have multiple images being pulled into a VM, and sometimes you use you spin the container, and most of the images the old images are pretty much sitting there, and the space gets used up. And this is a real-time use case that we got from developers firsthand, that this is a pain point. Our VMs get filled up, our machines get filled up with Docker images. It's just hard when we have a cluster of machines. It's just hard to go and manually delete these images, and that's where CloudSlang can help. You can write we have a out-of-the-box script to actually do this for you. You just specify the CoreOS cluster instance information, and then we figure out what are the VMs available in the CoreOS cluster. It loops through every single machine, goes over the Docker images that are not used, and deletes them for you. Send email notifications when your application or database is down. You can write these ping commands and then return the values. And if there is something that you're expecting, indicating a failure, you can configure to send email. So it's quite, so that's one use case for self-healing. And auto-scaling as well. So that's one I can think right off my mind. Hope that answers the question. Okay.
So just to The segue from that. So okay, so you have this mechanism that you can use to kind of get your cloud to work a little bit better. Go in, clean up some images because the reference comment, your VMs don't need them anymore or whatever. And but so that can be fired up. Does CloudSlang have like a pop-up master or something that fires up these kinds of things every once in a while? Is it like at or on, or I mean,
the scheduling part?
Yeah, scheduling. How does activity start to happen? When and where and why? And, and it's a big question about many of the stuff is, how many spinal cords are there?
Right.
Okay,
So
how does CloudSlang deal with staying in terms of as a piece of orchestration technology, can just keep itself alive,
right?
Active, keep itself running, or does it have its
you can schedule
to it, or?
Right. So you can have CloudSlang schedule some tasks for you. You can actually configure it to run every day or every whatever minutes. So that configuration is available. Maybe some of the content will also have out-of-box content also has that example too. So I would highly recommend you take a look. Okay. Okay. So I'll go back to my presentation. Okay. So here is, so basically what we're doing is we're orchestrating and as a code, which is like textual format, YAML, simple to use, simple to understand and read, as opposed to JSON files that are, as you can see, have the tags, and as you can see, YAML is much more cleaner to understand and read. So it's a simple example where we're making calls to our Python script, and we're just saying print text, which is a Python command, and Python script actually can tell you, tells the compiler that it's a piece of Python code, just read it as executable Python. So
forgive me, that was XML, not JSON.
oh
Yeah.
This part, all right.
Yeah, that's
I'm sorry.
JSON's a type of dictionary. Yeah, just.
I had a slide that had JSON, but yes, I think this is what I call JSON. Okay, and how you can write a workflow that calls multiple workflows. So you, as I said, it's a nested workflow here that gives power to reuse. It's much more structured, cleaner to write the code. And the pluggable languages are Java and Python. We saw the example of Python somewhere. Yeah, in our previous example, I think we saw Python code, and similarly, we have calls to Java. So you can make calls to Java as well. These are the inputs, as I showed in our actual script, and yeah, the parallel capability. So what? So they can be a task one that actually runs parallel task 2 and task 3, and you can pass one single file that is taken as input for these multiple flows, and the output can be combined and used for another flow. So the more you can structure it in your previous flow, the more you can actually limit your flows that you have. And it's and this is made simple because we have this power of actually having structure. And next, as I said, operations orchestration, what you see here is our commercial product, and we also integrated with StackStorm. So CloudSlang is one of the execution engines as part of StackStorm. StackStorm can have schedulers, then use CloudSlang. Maybe, yeah, this talks more about the REST APIs, which are much more specific to our operational orchestration. So I can skip this part. But what I want to focus here is we create to create our database. We have used this Java action, which refers to the script on the left, with the screenshot on the left. We're just calling the Java actions here, and what it's doing is basically this one. So we're using it to be much more cleaner and modular that way. And then we execute the Java action, and then we process the output from the YAML, from the flow. Then we create, again, right, we do based on the success. Every operation has a success and failure that needs to be defined. So if you got success, you can choose not to do anything at that point. But and when you have a failure, you can actually send out emails, configure. And now OpenStack integration. So so what I will be demoing today is making calls to OpenStack REST API and show how seamlessly we can create VMs by specifying the volume. We can also create volumes first of all, and then attach the volume to our instance, and then do a health check on the instance that has been created. So let me show you the different pieces that are involved in creating an OpenStack server. So first of all, we need to get an authentication token to call the REST API. We need information like image ID, flavor ID, network ID, and to do that, we have out of the box tools that making a single call to this actually returns a value from OpenStack. So this screenshot that you're seeing here is actually collecting this information in the form of a bunch of outputs that you run from before you actually create a server. And then you create the URL that calls the REST API, pass all these parameters, and we're good to go. So we have the server created. And then similarly for create volume, that's the process, and doing a health check. So in the health check, what we're trying to show is this is simple use case where we want to create a server, validate the server exists, then delete the server. In case of failure at any point, we're sending an email. So let me jump demo part. Okay, so this is our CLI. I'll go to our OpenStack instance. Okay, I'm going to delete this now. And I'll show you what the create server will actually doing. These are some of the explanations. So you can see documentation of what inputs are required. So this is useful while executing its flows. And going down, the flow starts, and we're defining the flow parameters which are required. Some of them are required, some of them can be hard-coded here. That's just out-of-the-box content, so you can modify them, you can have versions of it, change them. So to play. And then first is the authentication step. These are the inputs to be accepted. So once you set these inputs here in the top to input file, this is how my input file looks like. So create volume, the file created in the file. So I've defined the values here. double quotes, and then these values will be taken and set here. And then once these values are set, it's just used just like. And then we add the name, image ref, and then availability zone, add the parameters basically, and then we call, yeah. So here we are posting our request to our REST API. All the parameters are in place. Then just needs the proxy host, proxy port, and then we create the app. So I'm going to just execute this flow with a bunch of parameters that I've shown here. So this is for the create server. The run command followed by the flow. This is the flow, and then you give the task path for the execution, and then you give an input file, which with yeah, sorry, it's not here, but yeah, I keep the flow with the input file, and you can see the debug statements being printed as an instance of processing. And now what the flow has returned is a whole bunch of outputs that we define in a flow, and then to the success. The result is successful. Let's go ahead to our instance and refresh it. Should be able to see the instance here. It's successfully created. Similarly, you can have the volume created, right? I can show the inputs for the volume creation, then maybe jump to, this is the input for volume creation. There are a whole bunch of hard-coded parameters that I just put in the flow itself, so I don't clutter this file, I just want it to be simple. So, and then I go ahead and execute the volume. So it's similar to the create. So go back to the volume. Okay. So see that volume is created. Then we do a health check. That's the interesting part. So I want to show you the active flow what's doing there. Okay. So first it checks to create the server. Create server flow, we'll call it that. So as you can see, we have just used the existing flow servers. It's in the servers folder. So that followed by the parameters, validate the server exists, and then you actually do follow the server flow. So yep, that's on work and run. That way, so here, when you go to instances, I can show you before it gets deleted. Okay, we just saw the health check. Health checks are being created, and so yep, that's pretty much the demo I had. Then there is a Docker demo too that I have, but maybe I can show you. Any questions at this point?
Hold on, there was one just right for you, and then we'll go to the next. Here you go.
First question. What are the commands that are available? The CLI, you said that is a command. What are the commands that are available? How do you know that? The second question is, every command has a different parameters. How do I know what parameters are mandatory what parameters are optional. So because every time you're showing the code, you're showing, oh, these are the parameters required. How do I know? Do I have to go every time go look at the code, find out the parameters?
So that's a good question. So we have a document. First, to answer your first question, what other commands you can run? We have a whole bunch of help and documentation online on our website in CloudSlang. I can share those links with you. But they give you a comprehensive understanding of what command is what and what are the parameters that you have. And then secondly, when you're actually running the flow, in the flow you can see the required flag set to false. So that basically means you don't have to specify it, it's optional. But when you're actually running the flow, you pass that parameter, those parameters, and it immediately complains. Even before actually executing the flow, it tells you that these are the required input those execute.
So that is the run a command that it will give me all the required parameters?
Yes. When you run the flow, it gives you the required parameters for
Without
any flow
parameters given.
Okay.
Does it give me, okay, these are the required parameters?
So you are basically passing in parameters, right? For when you're running something, you will run a flow, right?
Yes.
So for that flow, you will need a few parameters, and
how do you know what parameters are passed?
you will be shown which ones to pass when you use the flow name.
So if they run the flow name and I enter it, does it give to me all the parameters
Yes.
required?
Yes. Sorry, maybe I contributed. Any other questions?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
So it's a platform in part. It's extensible. What type of functionality can you extend? You know, what sort of things might you write a Java module to do?
Okay. So any piece of Java code that you plan to call from our slang anything that you can do with Java can be written in a Java file, stored in the Java files place, then call that from your slang flow. So it's not restricted to what we require Java 8 to be pre-installed. So I guess that's what does that answer your question?
I'll look at the Java API.
Okay.
That'll probably be a better idea. Thanks.
Thank you guys so much for recording this for us again.
Good thing.
So, based on all that I have heard from you right now, you can do for OpenStack, so can you do for Docker, so can you do for any cloud. So, can I assume there is no nativity in this, there is independent of the cloud, you can do anything. So, I would suggest at Linux Foundation, there is a new initiative called Cloud Native Container Framework.
Okay.
CF or something new, and they are looking for projects which deal in certain areas for application orchestration. And position, there's one positioning you have already seen, position it as a instrumentation to acquire the failures and then act on it, like alert management, those kinds of things. But other place where orchestration requires some independence from the cloud is the cloud native stuff for container. Okay, maybe for container, you can do for anything, so you might as well do for container, it doesn't matter. As a positioning, because that does not position itself into a specific area, tends to be filtering the energy all over. Okay, the amount of work you will be doing will be just tremendous.
So we want to look. Thank you for the input, but I would like to add that you see this as a meta orchestrator.
True.
as an orchestrator sits on top of your underlying technology. So that's a powerful thing, right? To tie in these pieces that require orchestration.
So all I'm saying is that you can have global view of everything, but as a special case, you have certain orchestration because
Right.
the days of VMs are getting lesser and lesser. Even container will go within week. So if you look at long term, the prediction is that more of containers will take over the world. Right. And if you position right now in the nascent stage as a container orchestration independent of the cloud, that is what cloud native means.
Right.
And if you go ahead and propose this, there is only one tool currently accepted by me, that is Kubernetes.
Right.
If you add this, then you get an early entry and you can position this way.
Right. That is part of our strategy going forward because we want to focus on Docker. We are focusing on Docker.
And there is one rocket also on top of it. So you do have many.
Right.
Essentially, positioning of this product with HP's backing should go into that area. It was formed December 15. And of course, OpenStack is always welcome. OpenStack always wants. So there are two camps here. Okay, OpenStack is one camp, which has got around 65, 70, 80 projects, and so has Linux Foundation around 45. So between these two camps, you can have both sides. You can have on both sides. So go and just push it as a project, propose as a project. But somebody has to sit down and do the work of proposing and convincing, and HP, with HP's backing, you should be able to do this. And if you need, we'll all help. Because we are all here, always doing this.
Well, that would be fabulous. I would highly recommend.
You are young, you have got long way to go, and
Thank you. Yes, we would want you all to join our community, CloudSlang community, and just brainstorm some, just throw in some use cases that you feel like you need it. Okay? So we'll go through our R&D and make contributions. Yes.
And we definitely want all of you to contribute as well.
Yes.
These open source projects just die on vine if people don't contribute.
I just have a simple question. In the demo you showed, you showed 3 steps, so 3 CLI commands.
Right.
And I presume you can put those 3 CLI commands into one Slang.
Oh, yes.
So into one, right? So one step further, because you say in the next day. So say I want to do the same 3-step operation on 3 different cluster OpenStack. So the only difference is the URL, assuming the only difference is the URL will be cluster different. So is there a way I can do it like for say cluster URL is 1, 2, 3, do that one line command, and I just run that one string command. Is that
In a loop.
yeah, essentially it's like 4 and just say it's only 3.
Yes, you can.
Okay, all right, it's on information. Appreciate it.
One more question.
Okay.
So, had you considered using Slang as a tool for monitoring and configure? Oh, I'm sorry. Hey.
We can't hear at all.
Oh, right.
That just hurt.
Have you considered using Slang as a monitoring and configuration tool for OpenStack itself?
Monitoring for OpenStack, does that mean listing the VMs, doing health checks for the VMs?
Doing health check for OpenStack itself. Say part of Neutron goes down.
Right.
Compute 1 and Compute 2 can't talk to each other. Things like that.
Right. Yes. So maybe I can ask you or Uma to take that question.
Wait, isn't that what
answer is
Manaska
yes.
is doing?
Is it?
Isn't that kind of what Manaska is doing?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Did anyone come to our Manaska meetup not that long ago? Yeah, that's OpenStack monitoring project, monitoring at scale.
Oh,
monitoring as a
okay,
service.
so that exists. All right.
It does exist, but I'm not sure specifically like what integrations they have with Neutron necessarily. But there is an open source project already in OpenStack that is targeted towards monitoring.
Okay, right. I was using Neutron as an example, but yeah, there are a lot of.
There's actually been a couple, but that's the one that's supposed to do the things that some of the other projects that we don't have to name haven't quite done as well.
Right. Okay.
Salt Cloud also have it.
Which one?
Salt Cloud.
So
Salt Cloud.
Sort cloud?
Yes.
Oh, thought cloud for OpenStack.
So, but I think what we show the health check is more than monitoring, just monitoring. Because monitoring, usually, we just look at the API, right? Is the API up or is it running or so? But the health check that we just show is using not just monitoring, it's use the API. So we call the API to create a, so you know, the API will leverage, let's say the mobile API, and then spin up something for you, right? So the health check is going beyond. Make sure the API is doing something. Create server is working, network piece is also working, the image is there, and you can grab the IP. So, and then it's able to delete and do the cleanup for you. So the health check is not just monitor the API, but it's use it for you. If something happens, you're going to find out. You know, you use all your credentials, and it do a whole bunch for you.
So it is more of a garbage cleanup, like we have a Java, we use a garbage.
Well, it's a tool, right? So you can create your API to do anything for you. But it's more than monitoring. So it's not just for monitoring. That's why
It's really diagnostic in nature.
they could be.
Yeah, yes, could be, yeah.
It's flexible, so you can create a flow to all the API that you need. And in any schema, then you want.
And it can be written in the languages that you put up here.
Line, yeah. Okay. Any more questions?
Hi, just to follow up on what I was talking about earlier. Well, I guess one of the still is I would trying to understand. Okay, I'm all right. I know I've had friends for a number of years.
Okay, probably have two to add.
So, when I think about things like arrays or CoreOS machine services, dynamically you can spin them up, sure. Having them come and go, sure, absolutely. These are the what's and the how's. And I guess my general question is, how much thought, how much work we put into this already in terms of why and when? So, say you have you deliver a website, and you have throughput, it's just a pipeline. And it's some sort of a spike for some sort of reason, you can never really, and that website scale up behind the scenes, dynamically, be able to handle, 10,000, 100,000 this spike, boom, one day. And it's happening with some of the some of the stuff that lives online. It goes, one person got a light, another one got a light. Then in one day, it's all lines. That piece, that's the cycles. So that's what can happen with the website for this. So I'm wondering if you're about when it's go up, when it's going down. Why? So that's my big question. I don't support it. What's kind of what it's still just how fast the entire folders on administrative sessions, servers somewhere in the background that this is my magic sauce. If I'm involved in infrastructure, where it's the same time that you got into the point where you describe one out of a live system and try to keep it there. I'm just exploring that.
Yeah. Yes, so to summarize the question, summarize the answer to your question is whatever you can do with an SSH command or the API, you can write a Slang flow to get that. Let's say your servers are, your DB thread pool is, there's this resource loss going on there, and there are no more, threads available for one more connection. So you can get that kind of information and do something with it. You can get the outputs from the list, and then feel the system. Yeah.
That's about how, and it's about cross connection and all that. And that's wonderful. CSLang is totally fluid to integrate a whole bunch of different pieces. And the that angle is outstanding. That's my only question is about, like, okay, so yeah, you can have something that, say you have a resource extraction, be it in iNodes or file systems or they can find too much logging or anything like that. It's about, my question is more about what's firing up orchestration and why.
Right.
More than the fact that orchestration can be fired up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I understand. So, yeah, that piece, I would love to see our contributors who will be participating to actually try out how this can, how CloudSlang can retrieve this information. I would love to have these conversations going in our online forum. And we'd love to, we will contribute to this talk. So we will add value. We'll tell you what are the details that you need to know about CloudSlang and things like that. So I think these are interesting discussions for that work. Okay. I see nobody raising hands, so I guess that's all I had to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rita. And Rita has been kind enough to share the world with at DockerCon last summer, and hopefully at DockerCon again this year, and has become a Docker expert. So if you have more questions, I'm sure she'd be happy to stick around or even show you a quick demo. And there are actually on CloudSlang.io many demos that exist up there already, and you can see some demos of CloudSlang provisioning some Dockerized Apps and CoreOS and other fun content. We have some stickers for you. Those of you that have been staring at the back of my laptop for over a year have seen the cute little CloudSlang sticker on the bottom of it. You have to do a cool project to get on my laptop, or just cool technology. And these guys have been cool for a while. So please take a CloudSlang sticker. You can stick it in your car, your laptop, wherever. Come and see them at DockerCon again this year, and or come and talk to us after the fact. Thank you guys all for coming. We'll see you either next week at IBM or 2 weeks from now back here for the Keystone OpenStack Meetup on the 14th of April for our probably final meetup ever in Sunnyvale. So please come and have a good time with us in this fabulous location for now, maybe. A fine girl. Thank you, Alina. Thank you, Sylvia. You guys do everybody a favor and clean up your areas before you leave. You can figure out which things go into recycle versus garbage over there. Please drive safely and enjoy the rest of your evening. As always.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again. So how's it going with the Rockers? Are you going to pursue those things Adrian put up?
Let's see. Oh, gee, I've been doing a lot of things.
Yeah, probably. I know that was so 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's see. What did I do? Yeah, I actually I need to I think I need to reconnect with Adrian and see what the story is. I haven't heard anything back yet.
Well, he told you to apply. He wasn't going to apply. He
Right.
gave you the link, so you just go ahead.
I believe I did.
Yeah, just go, because Adrian runs the whole thing, so he's not gonna. So just go directly to those links, and then just go and go through.
I'll have to look at my notes and see if I did apply. I've applied to a few places. Well, if I did, I haven't heard back yet. So.
Yeah, well, maybe because I was looking at you guys' thread, I couldn't really follow it, but it looked like you were thinking he was gonna do it, but he was telling you to do it. So.
Oh no, okay.
Yeah, so just go ahead and apply.
I'll make that.
Yeah. Hi.
Thinking powerful for second time for the meetup. I have a question for you. So you're very seems like connected in the OpenStack community, right?
Yes.
I'd like to take get some certification for OpenStack and be certified. There are quite a few companies. I think Mirantis seems like one of the.
They do, yes.
Which one do you think is kind of almost like a brand name? Do I say, look, I certified OpenStack and this is what I certified?
Yeah.
Is Mirantis the right company, or there's somebody?
They would certainly certainly likely to think so. I've never
so the
gotten into
tool's
that
extensible.
side of it. If you go to
My question is,
OpenStack.org,
They have
you
a
have
full
a
list,
long
yeah.
list of things. Who else is on there? Let me just take a quick look and see if another name jumps out. I mean, Mirantis kind of set the bar for. Oh wait, hang on. I'm still in my Excel spreadsheet. Mirantis definitely branded themselves as the trainers of OpenStack, and we used to have them do the trainings here as well.
And what
OpenStack.
ESC does,
Oh my
is
gosh,
ESC
what's going on on my computer?
controls the
Open.org.
And what it does is it monitors OpenStack.
Rick would have a much better answer to that question because Rick is a trainer. And
Do have his maybe email?
Rick, yeah, he's at VMware now. So, but you can also just get to him through the Meetup. Just go through the Meetup. Rick Evans, yeah. So if you look at our Meetup. He's one of the organizers in our meetup. So if you, and this would be a good question actually for the organizers too. But if you look at Rick Evans, so he's one of our organizers for the meetup, and that's him.
And if I post, then everybody see that.
No, you don't have to. You can do a private. You can just message just to him.
Okay.
So, or if you want to message to all of the organizers, it says like contact. You would just click contact, and then it's going to send a message to the organizers. And there's only 4 of us right now. So it would send it to me, Sean, and Rick, the 3 of us who did this one. Oh, and then these 2 guys are at SwiftStack, Joe Arnold and John Dixon. And so, yeah, so John Dixon he was one of the founders of Swift, Project Swift, and he started SwiftStack. And Joe Arnold is he works there too, one of the original. So you're just going to get to us. Sean is now at Walmart, but he's been OpenStack for a long time. But let's see what the training. We used to have a thing called training.
No, they have a whole list.
Yeah, I just want to see if anyone jumps out at me. Is it under the marketplace? Or learn?
Learn, I think. Learn.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
one, yeah.
not just healthcheck, but you can.
Yeah,
Because we used to have courses at HP too, but and
Cloud
they're okay, but I don't know if we do the certification.
Like,
Selenium, yeah. So we do some courses, but in terms of a full-on training, so Sora's going to be D-based focused, Linux Academy, oh my gosh, Plumgood's going to be networking focused.
Based on what?
Is that this plot? What?
Yeah, they're going to be focused on the network, Neutron and networking, OpenStack networking. I've never heard of that. Wow. Aptera.
Oh, okay. So he was asking about the types of objects that CloudSlang can manage.
Because they do.
I know that it can manage OpenStack. We just saw a
Those
demo
guys
of
are
that.
cool. So I'd say between look into Mirantis, look into Aptera.
If you have Docker containers and you want CloudSlang to deal with them.
And then these guys, like I don't know, some of these other folks.
Know the Docker.
Some of them have come to the meetups and pitched some trainings that they had. Red Hat will be based on Red Hat. I mean, the only fear about Mirantis is they have a distro. It might be based on Mirantis' version of OpenStack. That's kind of the only problem with that. Whereas Aptera might be a little bit more neutral. I don't really know these guys, but I have heard of them. Aptera presents introductions of the crisis designer. I mean, they're going through kind of the basics.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might be a good one to check out.
Okay. I'll definitely do that. Great.
Cool.
Thank
Nice
you so
to
much.
meet you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for setting this.
Oh yeah, it's been fun. I've been doing it for a while. Might be time to. Might be time to do something else.
You're still enjoying it.
I do. I was gonna say, where's my? Oh, I left it upstairs. I wrote a book on OpenStack. I usually have a copy in my purse, and I have a ton in my laptop. You grabbed my book last time? Perfect.
Fantastic.
Good.
I actually read it.
You did. What did you think?
I
'Cause
did.
that's a good intro to OpenStack.
No, that's fantastic book.
Oh,
I read
good.
it. Usually, a lot of people get it and just keep it in the car.
Thank you for.
I read it.
Thank
And
you
I'm
for.
gonna read it again.
Okay, well, there's an online version if you have an e-reader, and that's easier for you. You can download it as well.
Okay.
You wrote an OpenStack book?
I did, yeah. Yeah, you don't have a copy of my book?
Well, actually, I should have brought it to sign.
Yeah, well, I'll bring a few down next time if you're here in 2 weeks. And yes, of course, I'll sign a copy for you.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Nice to meet you. Oh my gosh, how cute! He took a copy of my book. Yeah, it's small. It's a booklet. I'll show you. It's
I'm not online, but how do I get one?
guess. Don't believe
Yes, first one. Okay, are we good? Nope, there's my webpage. So we're online. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can. I can email my LinkedIn, but feature feature on the first page. What happened?
Yeah. Even
Booted
though.
to page 2. So you can download a PDF from the book, but I'll bring you a printed copy.
Yeah, please do.
It's time. I always have one in my purse, so I guess I must have given it away.
So here's my little.
You sent me the. Oh, you wrote it to. Well, I looked at it.
Hold on. Oh yeah. Here we are. So the tool. Have you ever done an OpenStack install by hand by following the instructions?
Not by following the instructions. We did one when we were doing our own OpenStack distro. I installed that usually in OpenStack, but we had triple at the time. Supposed to be clear. But no, I haven't done it from hand.
Yeah, okay.
Gosh, no.
I've done it a couple of times now. I just did Liberty, and as I was doing Liberty, I wrote this tool to just kind of make the installation process easier. So I wrote a little processor that
Probably.
Hang on one second, Chris. Oh,
Was
first,
it good? Was it good?
it was good. Yeah, don't steal that. That's my only.
So it'll process these piece of Liberty install files, and if you just take a look at one of them, like Liberty Neutron controller, this is essentially a cut and paste of the instructions with some of the stuff commented out, and it'll basically read variable sets that you define in another file. So you just cut and paste it from the OpenStack page, and it'll read all the config files out for you.
And so how far does it get you?
It got me all the way through. Well, let's see. I got Cinder. I've got Glance. I've got Kisa, Neutron, Nova, and
Probably Horizon and
Horizon. No, I haven't automated Horizon yet.
Okay.
That's the one I haven't automated yet. But the basics plus Cinder, I'll do Switch next, and then you should be able to just take this tool, cut and paste the instructions from the OpenStack board, and run it. It should work.
Yeah, but you need a dashboard. You need Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon after automation. Yeah, right. That's all I can have on.
Wow, that's pretty good. So is that what you were telling Adrian about? I
Yeah.
saw you kind of, because I sent a note also to, I don't think I have a position here, but I sent a note directly to Allison and to our recruiters, and I put a link to your tool in there too, and I copied some of our other OpenStack people here, but they have a lot here.
Oh, man, oh, that
I
sucks.
know.
Oh, well.
Kind of focus is moving more towards the cloud foundry the past year. And
Okay.
I guess they built out the infrastructure. Probably.
It is sort of railroad-like. Once the cloud exists, then
Right.
what happens?
And
Yeah.
put a lot of effort into making that any better. It's good enough. Then they're going to focus there. So,
Cisco did a lot of moving around. I could get back into Cisco, but I love Cisco. I love Cisco to death.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like looking for a job every couple of years. Cisco has a bad habit of contract. Just keep looking for someone with more firm.
Yeah. You know the guy, do you know Gary Kevorkian? He runs the Meetup in Los Angeles. He works for Cisco.
I think
He's a good guy.
Yeah, I sent him an email.